Hey there, coming to you with Holy Hunkerdown 8.0. Can't believe it's been 8 weeks. But I just want to talk to you today, not about COVID-19, not about the church reopening. I want to talk to you about something that should encourage every believer that lives today. I want to talk to you today about the reality of heaven. You know, we don't really find out too much about heaven until the final 2 chapters of the book of Revelation. And the word heaven is rampant throughout the Bible. The Bible talks about heaven as a place where God is. It talks about angels descending and ascending to and from heaven. It talks about a voice from heaven and many other things. But I think if we're going to spend eternity in heaven, we ought to know what we can know about heaven. And so what I want us to think about today is this, that heaven is a holy place. The book of Revelation presents this idea of heaven as this New Jerusalem, a perfect environment where a perfect society dwells. And let's think about what makes heaven such a special place. Well, first of all, heaven is a place where we're going to be free from the fears and insecurities that we face every day on earth. Now, especially right now, we face some fears every day. And in heaven, none of those are going to be bothering us. Listen to Revelation 21:25. Each day its city gates will never close because it will never be night there. You know, cities in the biblical times were built with big fortified walls, and they had these fortified gates that they closed during the nighttime. They closed when they were under attack. And so what we need to realize is that in heaven, the gates are never going to close because there's never going to be anything to be afraid of or to cause us to feel insecure. Heaven's a place where we're going to be free of any kind of economic or financial pressures. A lot of people in our world, and a lot of people right here in Whitesboro, Texas, struggle week to week to provide for their families. And it seems like you can never get ahead. In heaven, God says this, Revelation 21:6. He said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and I will give to the thirsty from the spring of living water as a gift." God says, you won't have to work for anything. It'll be a free gift, just like your salvation, and I'm going to give that to you. Heaven's a place where we're going to be free from the fear of failure. One of the most crippling things that we face as humans is the fear of failure. The fear of failure has the ability to render us useless. Now, I didn't say we are useless, but it can make us feel useless. But when we live with the fear of failure, it's like we're useless. But in heaven, we know there will be no failure. Listen to Revelation 22, verse 3. There will no longer be any curse. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and his servants serve him. I've said for years that heaven is the place where we get to see the curse be reversed. That's the curse of sin. That's the curse of Adam. That's the curse of our fallenness. And we get to see that reversed when we get to heaven. There will no longer be any curse. It's a place where our potential will finally be realized. It's a place where we will see the kind of people we can be when we allow God to truly be our King. And heaven's a place where we can be continually close to God. Sometimes you feel, if you're like me, that you're on a spiritual roller coaster. Some days you're on the mountaintop. Some days you're down in the valley. Some days it feels like you're even going backwards. And I want to tell you, church, that there are times that we all go through those spiritual times. We go through feast. We go through famine. But I want you to know that in heaven, here's what God says in Revelation 21, verse 22 through 24. I did not see a sanctuary in it, because the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are its sanctuary. And the city does not need the sun or moon to shine on it, because God's glory illuminates it. And its lamp is the Lamb. The nations will walk in its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it. It's a place where we can be continually in the presence of God, worshiping him. So heaven's a holy place. And I like to say this, that heaven is a holy place and it's filled with holy people. And we know that we're not holy on our own. We all have flaws. We all have imperfections. We all have sin that separates us from God. But when God looks at us, he sees us, if we've been born again, as saints. He sees us as those he loves. He sees us as righteous and pure and holy. And so heaven is a holy place. It's filled with holy people. And what are we going to do there? We're going to worship holy God for eternity. I can't imagine the glory, the majesty, the splendor that we're going to get to be a part of for eternity in that holy place with all God's holy people, worshiping him, our holy God. I hope that you'll be encouraged today by this word from God.